Let's continue the yesterday's heading, that is the National and Padma Awards. So, very first thing, what we can consider here, according to the say National Awards and the Padma Awards. So, very first thing, what we can consider here, the awards which are being conferred on the day called Republic Day, and therefore they are called Republic Day Awards. Republic Day Awards. Right. Now, if you consider what are the different Republic Day Awards are there. So very first here we can consider that is highest civilian award is here Bharat Ratna. One by one we will be seeing what exactly these awards are and for how and for what these are being conferred. The next is second most Padma Award. You can consider here the Padma Vibhushan. Padma Vibhushan. After this, we are as I said, we will be seeing one by one what exactly these are. Right. So these are only for your introduction and as an introduction, and also which are being given away on the Republic Day that we are just saying here. And then next is here you can consider the Padma Shri. So these are the awards which are always given for the exceptional service. Exceptional service, where towards the advancement of art, literature, and science, and in the recognition of public service of a high order, in fact, highest order. So, for these things, so exceptional service in art, literature, science, right, or the public services. And you must be thinking that for what about sports? Yes, it was not included in this particular case, and therefore, at the time of giving it to Mr. Sachin Tendulkar, it had been discussed in the parliament, and then parliament have made the necessary corrections, or they have included this particular thing for this particular award, right? So earlier it was not there, and that was the reason it was delayed. Otherwise, it might have given on the earlier or the previous year, right, when he got it. So this is about what you can consider. In between this, you can consider again Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Vibhushan, and obviously, then lastly, you can consider Bharat Ratna, right? So if I just consider the first one, right, Bharat Ratna. So this could be the thing. So as I said, it is the highest civilian award, which is given for the exceptional service and advancement of art, literature, science, as well as in the recognition of public services of the highest order. So this is given for that kind of exceptional services, right, in art, literature, science, and public services. You can include herein again the sports as well. Now, the decoration in this particular case is nothing but a in the form of a, so decoration is in the form of a people live. People live. Now see, this people live is having a certain kind of let's say the dimensions. So here we can consider these dimensions. So as I said, so this people live with having the dimensions, standard dimensions, and the material used to construct this particular people live. So obviously it is a bronze, toned bronze, right? So here I will be writing it as made up of bronze, right? So it is a kind of alloy which is which containing copper as well, right? So that kind of thing. So that is made up of bronze. Fine. Now, so dimensions. So it is about 5.8 centimeter long, 4.7 centimeter wide, and 3.1 millimeter thick. So its length, its wideness, and thickness. So these are the important dimensions, and these are the points of standard question. So here you have to always remember this thing, this particular thing, this one, and these three different points which are really of the importance. Now if you consider the Bharat Ratna award, which is in the form of people live, is always embossed in the language Hindi, right? So Bharat Ratna written on it is always in the Hindi. And if you consider the reverse of it, on the reverse of this particular leaf, the state emblem and the motto is also written, that is again in the Hindi. Now, if you consider the recipients, who are the different recipients of Bharat Ratna, right? Herein, if I discuss the first three recipients of Bharat Ratna, then it is long back in 1954, right? So it is the, you can consider here, the first one is Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. I think it is very simple to say it as Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. That is very easiest for you all to remember, right? So Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan was the first one. Second, you can consider here is C. Raj Gopalachari. Raja Gopalachari. And third, you can consider Dr. C.V. Raman. When? So another question, when did Bharat Ratna start? So the award Bharat Ratna started in the year 1954. And the first recipient of the Bharat Ratna are these three. So in the same year, these three have got it. Then from that particular day till date, you can see the list of the Bharat Ratna awardees, right? So wherein you can find out different names, such as in that case you can consider Lal Bahadur Shastri is there, Indira Gandhi is there, then you can again consider Mother Teresa is there, then Acharya Vinoba Bhave are there, is there. You can consider V.R. Ambedkar is there, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is there, right? So these are the different names or the awardees. Again, Rajiv Gandhi is there. Fine. So these are the different uh, names. You can again include in this case Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, right? So uh, again, Mr. Amartya Sen is also the recipient of it. Lata Mangeshkar ji is there. Bhimsen Joshi is there. C.N.R. Rao, Sachin Tendulkar. You can consider. Only one thing that see Tendulkar is a recent one, right? You can consider that is in 2014. But there is significance of the Bharat Ratna given to Sachin Tendulkar, and that is he is the first player to get Bharat Ratna, the first significance. And second significance, he is the youngest to get Bharat Ratna forever, let's say ever till date, right? So the awardees of Bharat Ratna, if you consider till date, then among all these Bharat Ratnas, the Sachin Tendulkar is the youngest one, right? At the earliest age, he got Bharat Ratna in the first place. So these are the two things which are you can consider as the first player. And the last Bharat Ratna awardee in this particular series or the list you can consider. So that is nothing but the Atal Bihari Vajpayee, right? So in 2015, I think last one is given, that is for Atal Bihari Vajpayee as well as Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. In fact, the second one is posthumously, and no doubt the first one is for the Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So you can consider these things. Now, purposefully, I'm not going through all the names. Otherwise, our whole session will be ending in this particular names. Rather, you can simply search the Bharat Ratna awardees, and therein you can get the names of all these, right? So that could be a case. Otherwise, I may put a list of all these awardees along with the years, right? So the name of awardee and year, and whether it is posthumously or not. So if it is posthumously, it will be always written in the bracket posthumously, right? So it is about the Bharat Ratna award. Now we can consider here one more thing. Who was the first woman to get the Bharat Ratna? And again, you can consider in this particular list. So it is nothing but the Indira Gandhi, right? So you can have these different things according to the awards. That is first award, that is for the Bharat Ratna. Now you can consider here that three different Padma awards which we can consider, as I said. So first is again these Padma awards are okay, Padma awards, right? So these are given for highest civilian. These are highest civilian honors of India, and which are always announced annually on the eve of Republic Day, that is on 25th of January. And the awards are always given in three different categories. I think some of I have written already. So first one is Padma Vibhushan. Padma Vibhushan. So see, this is always for exceptional and distinguished service. Exceptional and distinguished service. Right. Then second Padma award is Padma Bhushan. Padma Bhushan. This is conferred for the distinguished and you can distinguished service of higher order. Distinguished service of higher order. And the third in this and the last Padma award is Padma Shri. Padma Shri. Right, I think SHRI. Right. So this is given for the distinguished service. Now see, one thing is common, that whatever the task, whatever the work, whatever the thing you are performing, doing, that should be distinguished. Right, here again distinguished, but in this case as well as it must be exceptional. Right, it must be exceptional. For an example, so in 1993 Killari earthquake, it is in Maharashtra, in fact nearby the Latur. So I think in those days Mr. Sharad Pawar was the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, and his work of rehabilitation, in fact it was a great disaster, and the work of rehabilitation executed by the then Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Sharad Pawar, was recognized, was appreciated by not only from the people in India, right, the politicians, irrespective of the party, but also from some of the world known organizations. And because of that, later on, after a few years, when earthquake in Kutch at Gujarat, I think Bhuj, when it was happened, so at that time Atal Bihari Vajpayee had sent Mr. Sharad Pawar to that particular rehabilitation center. In fact, it was asked by himself, by Mr. Pawar Sahib, by himself to the Prime Minister of India, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. So that means, now see how it has become exceptional. Already the work itself is distinguished, but it has also become exceptional. So that is the case. That is the thing. And I think maybe 2 years back, he got this particular award. It's a Padma Vibhushan, right? So you have to always have, or you have to always look for these different exceptional and distinguished services. So this is the meaning of distinguished, no doubt. So once a distinguished, so this is same for this one. This is again here, distinguished service of higher order, and here it is distinguished service. Now, if you consider distinguished services, so whatever, okay, one more thing, distinguished service of higher order. So becoming the captain of the Indian cricket team, so itself is a distinguished. Becoming the captain of Indian cricket team and winning World Cup for 50 overs, World Cup for T20s, and making India the number one side in Test, and also winning the ICC Champions Trophy. So now this has become service of higher order, right? So that doesn't mean no other captain has done it, but simultaneously, right, that was done or that was achieved by a same captain, and therefore he was awarded with this particular award. And if you consider Saina Nehwal, Sindhu, then Virat Kohli, likewise, so these are the people who have let's say conferred with this particular because of their distinguished services, right? So I guess now you must have understood these things. Why I'm spending time for this, right? So if I go in detail the names and the list of these, so it is very hectic, or rather it is very lengthy. So we can't do anything in that particular case, right? So only one thing is that here the all these awards, rather Padma awards, are always conferred on the recommendations made by the Padma Awards Committee. So there is committee, and this committee is always constituted by committee constituted by Prime Minister of India, PM, right, every year. And the nomination process is always open to the public. Even self nominations can be made, right? If someone thinks that my work is distinguished and now I should get at least Padma Shri, so he or she can nominate himself or herself, right? So that is the thing. Now if you consider these awards, right, which are called Padma Awards, right? So in this category, as I said, as like Bharat Ratna is being first given in 1954, along with Bharat Ratna, the Padma Vibhushan was also given in the same year, that is in 1954. And later on, I think in the next year, the Padma Awards were, I think, categorized by the presidential notification in 1955, and therein you could have these three different. So in 1954, only this one is there, and Bharat Ratna was there, right? So these are the things which you can consider. Now, if you consider the different fields, I will just tell you, right, briefly, the different fields which are considered for Padma Awards. So as I said, art. So that what does mean art, right? It is not only the painting. So it includes music, no doubt paintings, sculptures, photography, cinemas, even theater. Likewise, different things are always being considered in the art, right? So here, first thing is art. Second thing you can consider here, social work. So some of the things, social work, some of the social works includes the social services. Nowadays, see, in this COVID-19 epidemic, at the most of the places, the different organizations or the groups of people are helping out the laborers, helping out the students by providing either tiffins, by providing either meals, or by providing the you can consider the daily needs for 8 days, 15 days. Likewise, some are also providing direct money to these people. That means a kind of social work, right? You can consider in. Then there you can have charitable services, then contribution in community projects, likewise, right? So second thing we can consider here in that is social work. Then public affairs. Public affairs. So what you can consider in public affairs? So public affairs always, very first thing comes in public affairs, that is the law, and then public life or the politics, right? So art, social work, public affairs, science and engineering. Science and engineering. So in science and engineering, you can include the space engineering, nuclear science, information technology, research and development in science, and its allied subjects. So it is never ending. Rather, none of this is ending at some point. It is always being extended, right? So it is always being continued. Apart from this, here you can have the trade and industries. Trade and industry. You can consider Amul Doodh, right? So few years back, so nobody thought it would be like that, right? So you can consider the industries, fine. So not only the actual industry, whatever we can consider in this case, as far as trade is concerned, so you can include banking, you can have the economic activities, right? You can have the management, you can have the promotion of tourism and business. So likewise, right? So that can be in the category of trade and industries. Fine. Later on, you can have medicine. Now see how important this field is, and as far as today's epidemic is concerned, it is of huge importance. Fine. So medicine, which will include the medical research, distinction, specialization in Ayurveda, homeopathy, then allopathy, even you can have naturopathy or Siddha. So these are the different things which are always being considered in medicine. Then literature. What we are seeing what could be the different fields which are being considered for these awards, not only these, even for Bharat Ratna award as well, right? So literature and education, if we consider literature and education. So in literature and education, you can include the journalism, teaching, book composing, literature, poetry, promotion of education, promotion of literacy, education reforms. Now see, nobody is seeing me, even I'm not able to see every one of you simultaneously. That means now this is not a traditional kind of class. So it is a IT based class or information technology based class. Right now, see, this is nothing but the promotion of the education using some of the educational tracts. Likewise, so this particular thing is also in this category, that is literature and the education. Fine. So you can have again this field. Later on, you can use in this particular case, or you include the civil service, right? So no doubt it starts from your administration. So distinction or excellence in the administration by the government servants, mostly collectors, or you can consider the divisional commissioners or the commissioners, right? So likewise, again, same example, that is epidemic. So nowadays, most of the commissioners, collectors, then the SPs are doing exceptional job in these days, right? To fight effectively as much as we can with the COVID, and so that we can have as much as less threat or as much as less uh, damage caused by this particular thing, right? Here you can again have the next one, sports, right? So it includes the any of the popular sports, athletics, adventure, mountaineering, promotion of sports, even yoga is also being included in this case. And lastly, here you can consider, so the, as I said, this field is, or all these fields are endless. So others you can have here. So the fields which are not covered in above all these will be always falling in the category of the others. For example, what could be others? Now see, human rights, right? So that is uh, not in either of the above fields. So in this category, whatever Mr. Anna Hazare had done, right? जे अण्णांनी केलं, so that was not either of these things. So that will come in the others, and because of that, he was also awarded with the one of the Padma Awards, right? So these are the things which are always, or you can consider the wildlife protection, right? So whatever is being done by Prakash Amte at Anandwan, right? So wildlife. So they have secured the wildlife, they have conserved it, they have protected it. So that would be the things which are always falling in the case of or category of others. Fine. So these are always important. परत rejoin करा sir.
ये बघा
Hello.
रिजॉइन करा सर.
Hello sir. Rishikesh.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
किती वेळ आहे?
Sir, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, sir.
ओके ओके. हाँ ठीक है ठीक है. So let's continue with this. So these are the awards which are always presented by whom? So they are always presented by President of India. Presented by President of India, usually in the month of March and April every year. Although they are declared on the eve of the Republic Day, but the distribution ceremony is always being conducted in the month of March or April every year, and the awardees are always presented a sanad called certificate signed by the president and the medallion, right? So that particular medallion and the sanad is always being given to this award. So the recipients are also given a small replica of medallion जे chest वर लावतात, right? Which they can wear during any of the ceremonial state functions, right, or etc. And if the awardees if awardees desire to do so, so they are always allowed to do that particular, I mean to wear these awards on the chest in the form of replica, right? So it depends on the desire of that particular awardee. The names of the awardees are always published in the Gazette of India on the day of the presentation ceremony. So you can consider in this particular case, so what could be the number? How many awards should be given in a year? So is there any limitation? Is there a fixed number? Yes. So the total number of awards to be given in a year, right? Total number of awards given in a year, whether they are okay, first I will write, they should not more than 120, right? So at the most 120 awards per year will be given. So in this case, in this category,